Hey guys, today I'm going to take you through the process that I use to ID the purpose of my clients' websites and then optimize based on that purpose. My hope is that will help you hone in on the purpose of your own website so that you can be more effective, get more sales, money, and more freedom. So, your website purpose. What's the big deal? The big deal is purpose matters. If you don't know the purpose of something, it'll just kind of sit there, not doing much. So take an arrow, for example. I'm a big archery guy. Say you'd never seen one before. You could decide that it would be great for holding up a plant or something like that. Or you could use the sharp end to dig a hole. You could do a million different things with an arrow. Or worse yet, if you don't know the purpose, you might end up doing nothing with the arrow because it just seems like a useless stick with a pointy end and some feathers. But if you knew the purpose of the arrow, that's when it becomes an effective weapon. It's the same thing with your website. Tons of businesses think their website is pointless. I've had business owners actually tell me that they get plenty of business without a website and therefore don't need one. This couldn't be more false. The only reason they feel that way is because they have never taken the time to establish the purpose of their website. Just like the arrow, once you establish the purpose, your website goes from this random thing that just kind of sits there to a highly effective weapon that you can use to boost your business, your sales, and therefore your freedom. Sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get started and walk through this simple process to find out what the purpose of your website should be. So, step one is choose end or means to an end. Let me explain what that means. Websites like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube are basically the end. In other words, once you get there, you use the website and that's it. If this describes your website, awesome. That's pretty much all you need to know. From there, you just need to get people to come to your website, which involves SEO, content, social media, analytics, all that good stuff, which is stuff I love working on. However, it's a bit out of the scope of this training. I'm going to assume, though, that your website is more likely a means to an end category, in the means to an end category. Or in other words, your website is a rung in the ladder that takes a visitor from some random person to a paying customer. The end for most businesses is making a sale, getting clients, that sort of thing. Now, the website is the means to that end. So step one is to choose whether your website is an end website or a means to an end website. If your answer is means to an end website, then move on to the next step here. Step two, choose action or information. Okay, so we're still at the 30,000 foot view here of your website's purpose. We have e-commerce sites, blogs, cause-oriented websites. Those are all action websites. The goal is to have the time spent on the site result in some kind of action, whether it is making a purchase, booking a call, comments, interactions, starting a free trial, or getting involved in a movement. It's all about having visitors do something. Okay, so let me show you on the screen here. Hopefully you can see that. This is a website called Three Rivers Archery site I probably spend too much time on. Though I'm not a huge fan of their site design, it is an example of an action website. Okay, the homepage is all about shop now, buy stuff. Okay, so you can just kind of see that right there on their website. Informational websites, on the other hand, would be sites like portfolios, biographical sites, branding sites, some types of blogs. The goal is to have the time spent on the site result in the visitor being educated. Okay, so we want to think Wikipedia when they're not asking you for money. It's all about giving the visitor new information. As you're hearing me say that, you're probably thinking, wait, can a website be both action-oriented and information-oriented? The answer is technically yes. However, if you see a site appearing to combine information and action, more than likely, any information that site provides is going to ultimately be designed to get people to take action. It all comes back around. Once again, chances are if you have any kind of business website, it is an action website. If that is the case, then this is where things get specific. Ready? Okay. Step three, choose sales, leads, or other. This is where things get good. Let's start with the sales website. If you have a product, physical or digital, that someone can give you money in exchange for said product, then you have a sales website. Someone comes onto your site, and the main focus of the website should be to educate, inspire, and motivate them to buy your product. A good example of this would be Digital Marketer's website. They're a great example. They are offering a free trial and a bunch of education to move you toward buying their products, their books and trainings and all that sort of good stuff. Get you to come to their conferences. Okay, so if this is you, then you are a sales website. Okay, the next one is a leads website. If you have a service, physical or digital, that someone can give you money in exchange for said service, then you have a leads website. Someone can come onto your site, and the main focus of the website should be to educate, inspire, and motivate them to reach out to you and have you fulfill the service that you offer. This could be in the form of them turning over their email address to you or actually scheduling something like a consultation or an appointment or something like that. You could call this a sale. However, it's fundamentally different because you cannot fulfill that service just by the visitor giving you their credit card. Let me explain with two really quick examples. Okay, example number one. Let's say we have a dentist website. A visitor comes to the website. He sees who you are and what you do. They decide they like you and they want you to be their dentist. Your website needs to get them to A, give you their contact info so you can follow up, or B, schedule an appointment. Boom. You have a lead. Not technically a sale yet, though hopefully it will lead to a sale. Example number two, a website designer's website. Oh, look, there's my website. Visitors come to the website, they see who you are and what you do, they decide they like you and want you to design their website. Your website needs to get them to A, give you your contact info, or B, schedule an appointment. There you go. It's a lead. It's not a sale. So that's why this is a different type of website from the sales website. Next, we have an other website. This is a pretty broad category, but basically we're talking about a website that doesn't have a product or service offering, but still wants the visitor to take action. Think of a political or a cause website. Its main focus is to educate, inspire, and motivate people, but the end result there is to vote, put a sign in the yard, donate, volunteer, things like that. In other words, it doesn't really fit in the sales or leads categories, so it gets to be its own little category all by itself. This would be something like a Compassion International website. Wonderful organization, by the way. Definitely worth checking those out. So those are the three types. So if you're sales or leads based on whether you have a product or a service. Okay, now we move on to step number 4. You need to optimize based on that purpose. Okay, so now that we've got your individual website's purpose figured out, now what? Now do these 4 things. I'm just going to list these out for you. These are the 4 things that I would do if I was working on a customer's website, client's website. I would take these 4 steps of action right away because this is one of the biggest things, like I said, that you can do to optimize your website. Okay, so based on the purpose that you landed on previously, you need to first sync calls to action. There is a thing called too many choices, and business websites are very guilty of it a lot of the time. Throughout your website and your homepage especially, you need to have 1 or at the most 2 calls to action repeated multiple times. If you've got a sales website, you need to decide on 1 or 2, maybe 2, calls to action that will move someone from visitor to customer as quickly as possible. So some examples would be like buy now, learn more, see it in action, get yours, reserve yours. There are millions of other possibilities, but that should get you rolling. Each button should move them further along in that buyer's journey as you educate, inspire, and motivate them to buy your product. So a fantastic example of this would be the backlinko.com, Brian Dean's website. This guy's awesome, first of all, as far as his SEO knowledge and stuff. Learned a ton from him. But literally, he has 1 call to action on the homepage repeated twice. So see that right there? He's got just wants you to sign up, and then a bunch of testimonials and stuff like that. And then boom, get the free guide, and he wants you to sign up again. So it's just the same call to action repeated twice. It's just simple, neat, effective, beautiful. Something like that is what you're looking for. Okay, so now I want you to pause the video if you need to. Go sync your calls to action because that is so vitally important. I'm done? Good. Let's move on to the next way to implement the purpose of your site. So just don't say things to say things. There are a few things that will kill your website's effectiveness more quickly than large chunks of text. Embrace the white space. Use the fewest words possible. Use pictures and videos wherever you can. It's an oldie but a goodie. Show, don't tell. Communicate your site's purpose through every bit of text on the page and every bit of text that's not on the page. SOG, another website I may or may not spend too much time on. They do a great job of this. You just scroll through their homepage. It's like picture, 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 big headline, little bit of text, picture, like all kinds of pictures. That's what they're doing. It's their bread and butter. Their homepage probably has less than a few hundred words on it, but you totally get the picture right off the bat thanks to all the pictures. Okay, so that was number 2. Number 3 is to eliminate distractions. Websites can quickly get bogged down with all the bells and whistles. Now that you know the exact purpose of your website, you need to capitalize on that by getting rid of anything and everything that distracts from that purpose. Okay, I'm talking about pop-ups, pictures, headings, pages, maps, anything like that. Anything that doesn't point people to the purpose of your site is distracting. So get rid of it. Now, if a pop-up or a picture does line up with the purpose of the website, then by all means, have it on your site. Just don't lose focus and get distracted by the bells and whistles out there. It's easy to do, believe me, I know. A site that is kind of a bad example of this is actually John Pennekamp State Park in Florida. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so not a very good example of this. It's just there's a lot going on, a lot of big chunks of text, all that sort of thing. It's very distracting, and I don't know if I'm supposed to book now or click one of these buttons or maybe like on Facebook or contact them. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, it's just a very distracting website. So yeah, all that stuff doesn't really hone you in on the main purpose of the site. So next this is number 4. So now we've done those 3. This is on the number 4, is to make it obvious. When you go to a well-designed website, you know within the first second or two exactly what the website is about. You don't have to wonder or look around, you know. Often this is done through a simple, big informational heading. Depending on what kind of business you have, you could do it through a video like they do here at Burgess Yachts. I love this website. Just an awesome website. The video they got on there, like, it just says Burgess. Discover the difference. Like, I don't know what that is, but you just one glance and you know exactly what it is because of the video that they've got on there, the big heading right there. So now that you know what your purpose is, make it loud and proud and obvious right from the start so that your visitors know. All right, a little side note here. I want to get off on too much of a tangent, but I just got to point out, in this new decade, a website is not enough. Most just, kind of sit there anyway. So what is more than a website? The answer is it's a funnel. So think of it like this. Your run-of-the-mill, cookie-cutter, 7-page business website is nothing more than a digital billboard that people can look at. That's it. Okay? How effective is a billboard in this day and age? A funnel, on the other hand, is more like an effective, likable salesperson that works for you 24/7. Notice that I said likable salesperson. It's not that pushy used car salesperson. No offense to used car salespeople. It's a good friend that visitors feel has their best interests at heart as it educates them, inspires them, and motivates them to move in a new direction. Again, we're getting into something that's a bit beyond the scope of what we're talking about today, but it's something to keep in mind. But if you have any questions about building a funnel for your business, I've got some free resources that I'd love to give you that would really help you get started on this track. Get in touch with me. I'll get those over to you real quick. So back on track here. Now that we have a clear idea of what your website's purpose is, you have 4 things to do right now. Okay? Log into your website editor and sync your calls to action. That's the first step. Number 2, don't just say things to say things. Remember, eliminate any and all text that doesn't align with your site's purpose. Optimize the text that you leave so that it's all pointing to that purpose. Number 3, eliminate distractions. Just say no to the bells and whistles. Hone in on the purpose throughout the site. And number 4, make it obvious. Use your most valuable real estate on your site, that's the first screen that somebody sees, to state your purpose in no uncertain terms. So go ahead and do those 4 things. I'll wait. All right. Did you do those 4 things? Awesome. You should paste your URL in the comments so I can check them out. I would love to see what you've done with your implementing these tips on your website. Okay, so see how easy that was? This one simple tweak, just getting clear on your purpose, makes all the difference in the world. Now, obviously, there are tons of other things. I've got a whole checklist on my website, tons of other things you can go through. I think I've got over 50 things on here. Big old checklist of things that you can do to optimize your website. But this one thing is a fantastic start. So I hope you liked watching this as much as I like making it for you. And if you know anyone who find it helpful, please share it with them. Really hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you next time.